Hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome to LMU. Was now the fourth round of the SROL WEC series. It's been a while. It's been quite a while. It's been a few months since we ran the second round at Spa. So yeah, getting a bit of a headache now, to be honest. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just quickly getting ready for qualifying, which begins in just a moment. Welcome in. Yeah, it's been a while. We've had mixed series so far. Imola, the pace was good, but the race itself didn't go too well. A few mistakes. In Spa, also went quite well in damp conditions. Did have a little mistake, so we did, but yeah, finished on the podium, which, yep, I was happy enough with. Missed Le Mans, and now we're here for the rescheduled Interlagos. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect from this one. It's been a while. The series has had a little change. As we're going to head out for the start of qualifying. We're right at the far end of pit lane, far from the pit exit. So we do want to get going. Gotta be careful with this pit exit. But yeah, we've got a 10-minute qualifying session here as always, and then a 90-minute race. But yeah, of course, LMU has changed a bit. We've had version 1.4. Slightly updated brake physics, especially with the thermals. Of course, BOP updates. The Genesis was just new when we started racing it at Imola. Still relatively new, of course, at Spa. So, Genesis might be a little more bopped. It did seem quite quick in those opening races. So, might find it a little bit more difficult to be at that front end than we were in those two races. And it is no longer fixed setup. We have free reign over setups, mainly for the wet conditions. Or at least partially for the wet conditions. But I think that is helping some of the other cars find a little bit of pace, or the drivers in those other cars find a little bit of pace. Since the practice session started, I've started developing a bit of a headache. Not feeling too great about the race today. Driving didn't feel great in practice. Yeah, and it felt like the feeling wasn't quite there. The times weren't too bad. But yeah, nothing amazing. The weather conditions for the race too, I think they're the exact same as Spa. So we could see a light drizzle throughout the entire race like Spa, or it could be dry. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Some people starting to push quite early on the tyre. As usual, don't really get on with the cool tyre. I can't push it quite as much as some of the other drivers. Just bringing the motor map down a little bit, just so we don't run out of battery, and we can just burn a little bit more fuel, get the car a little bit lighter. I mean, we're talking fractions, but hey, every little can help. Ooh. Rear end just started to go round there. Currently sitting P7. Two and a half tenths of Peugeot in front of us. I bumped down to P8. We're gonna have 2 more flying laps here. Try and get a little further up. Try and secure a spot in the top 10 is where we sit. We could be bumped out if other people are able to find time. Already down to P9. Oh no, the car just did not want to slow down that time into T1. 22.8 the current pull time. We at least want to get to the 23s. So this will be one last flying lap. Just snatching the front left quite a bit there into T1. Not ideal. 10th and a half up. Oh, that front right lock up. It's a good first half of the lap, even with the lock into T1. Fortunately, then we just kind of kept locking tires. We do get into the 23s, but it's only a 200th of a second improvement. Oh, bumped out of the top 10. Yeah, I mean, that was 4/10 at least in that lap. Could have got us up into P9. Actually, could have got us into P8. P8's probably where we were looking for if we got that lap in. Yeah, just not feeling great with the brakes. But the fuel, put on some new tires. Yeah, that's been annoying. Maybe even half a second in it. You know, might have been able to snatch P7, but be P8 or P7, I'd say. Just could not get that braking right.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
Okay, we're good on this end. Fuel we need for our pit stop is 52, so we'll get that set now. We'll see if the light rain comes, if the rain does come though. And of course, traffic. The GT3s are going to be a major factor here at Interlagos. But yeah, hopefully we can move forward this race, get a few positions. Yeah, just hoping the race pace and the consistency is a little bit better than what we had in qualifying.
Formation lap has started.
Go warm the brakes up. It's actually quite important with the latest update. This is so inconsistent. People aren't just following the speed. Anyway, here we are to the green.
Green flag, green flag.
Okay, barely being left any room here. That's one car spinning off. Two, maybe. I was left so little room there. It's like I didn't exist on that NT1 and turn 2. Take it sensible with the concertina. Nice little blip there. Hey, some slipstream from the Toyota. What they've done on the Toyota too. Oh, Valkyrie's getting into battles, both in front and behind us. Had to take a little lift there. Couldn't sort of repeat what I did to the Toyota on the Valkyrie. Zach, who we had good battles with in the F4s yesterday. I mean, it looks like we're having more good battles with here at Interlagos. We're up to P6 now, a bit of a gap in front of us. Peugeot trying to get back past the Valkyrie. Broken the slipstream, which is good. Now we can sell into this race. Got to turn the motor map down though. Start to see where our race pace lies. A bit quicker than the car in front. And the car behind, about nearly 4/10. That's good. Just need to be able to keep that pace up. We're going to come under pressure soon though. The Alpine that qualified second and spun off at turn 3 as Apex in there somewhere is on the back of the Peugeot behind us. Yeah, not a great lap there. Much better Senna S than what we had on the previous lap. Alpine's in front of the Peugeot, so they're now chasing us down. I'd like to point out my best lap there, within 1/10 of the qualifying lap. Shows you how mediocre that qualifying session was. And if I put a lap together here, I actually might beat her qualifying lap. No, not quite going to beat it. But we're close. And if you want evidence of how we're not going to be fighting the Alpine behind us, they just set the fastest lap of the race. "81 minutes to go." We've got our first straggler of a GT3. Absolutely horrible place to catch them. Understeer. And that's where the main pack of GT3 starts. I was ran the limit of braking. I was a little bit worried the Alpine was going to try and stick their nose up the inside while I was trying to move up for the GT3, but luckily they didn't. Fight for P4 up ahead. Oh, the Alpine's pushed me into the Mercedes. Okay, block me then. Look at them two steaming up to the corner. That GT3's not being kind to people, to the hypercars, just causing issues. Corvette being nice, making it easier for us. The Porsche spotting an opportunity. Yeah, that wasn't great traffic luck. Really, that mess with Alpine really didn't help. The fact that I had to make 2 moves like that, like, was it consecutive laps? I don't think it quite was. But so close to each other in the race. A funny coincidence. Sky seemed to have got a bit brighter. Sun is shining down. Got a yellow flag. Not sure what that's for. I think it was behind us. I think it was the Ferrari that we passed, the GT3 that was sitting second, because they've disappeared from the relative, and P1 is still there. Now, with all that chaos done, we need to increase the motor map because the battery's nearly full. And take a little look. Right, fuel usage is on target. 2.4% a lap is the target, by the way. After all that chaos, we now find ourselves in no man's land. I'm getting so warm. Don't really feel that warm. I'm just sweating so much. Really uncomfortable. .7.5 second gap back to the car behind. I'm going to say 7-second gap to the car ahead, because the Alpine is going to catch and pass them and drive on up. Our pace is somewhat similar to those two cars in 4th and 5th, the Caddy and the Peugeot. they've got the straddling GT3. Might be a different one. They've taken an early pit stop. I don't like that move. Feels a bit risky and not the quickest. But I feel like, you know, it's still a bit sketchy trying to make a move between turn 8 or turn 9 and 10. It's a very short run. I think I'm losing a little bit of time to the two cars in front, excluding the Alpine. Oh, there's been an incident. I think it was between the Lambo and a GT3. Skies are getting darker. Yeah, big cloud cover coming over now. I don't appreciate you, BMW. That cost... I mean, it was going to cost me time anyway, but it's like I wasn't going for that move. Which is a bit annoying. I was going for the out of turn 2 move. GT3's a little bit more spread out now than they were on the first pass. See, that move felt sketchy. It required compliance from the GT3, which I think they gave. Now this is where things could get awkward. Yeah, so a little mobile chicane there in turn 3. Not ideal. And it's not going to get any easier. Just had to hope and pray the Mustang there saw me. It was so awkward. Just found out what was the second car that spun at turn 3 on lap 1 was a Ferrari. They were just about to come up to P10, haven't quite finished the move. Or completed it, should I say. That move feels a lot safer than trying to hang it around the outside. But you just gotta hope that door opens up when you expect it to. That the GT3 does carry the speed and doesn't sort of back off because they think you're gonna go to the outside. GT3 leader. Gap stayed fairly similar to the 3 cars in front through that instance of lapping traffic. The pace is going to be very similar between me and them three, it seems like. If anything, it seems like they might have a slight edge. But looks like we might be best placed virtual energy-wise. And so might be able to make some time back in strategy. No track limit points, thankfully. The leading Lambo in 4th place, Brennan, I don't think we'll catch him. He seems to just be a little bit quicker, a couple attempts quicker than the other two, and he's saving fuel. Probably skirt that. Yeah, definitely did skirt that Lexus as it runs wide. A mistake from a Lambo. Something's happened to them. We just about got through, hanging around the outside. I nearly ran into the back of that BMW because of what it did there. I mean, it did help, it did make things easy, but it was risky. I didn't like it. Cruising up to this Peugeot, it got held up by traffic a bit this lap. I think maybe I had contact with the Lamborghini behind us now. Game felt very weird there for a moment. Like there's an odd bump and the force feedback was a bit light. Closing up to this Peugeot now. That's wrong on the mirror map. We're into the train of GT3s again. This time they're even more spread out than they were last time. This is going to get awkward. I'm very glad that McLaren's seen what I was trying to do. I give that BMW enough space. I'm sure I did. And because the front left suspension's fucked, I can barely turn right. Thanks, BMW. Ooh. Hang on. Oh, I don't want this. I forgot it's only 2 tires. 100 seconds of damage. That's more than a lap. I don't know if I want to continue if it's that long of a stop. 100 seconds. And I have 2 new front tires. So the car's going to have a lot of grip on the front axle, but none on the rear. Look at the tires. Yeah, 73% on the rears. Yeah, I might just call the race there, especially with this headache. Just trying to stay focused. Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge. But yeah, a 2-minute pit stop here. That's by a lap and a half lost. Yeah, the strategy's not going to be anywhere. And I didn't get the VE up. So I still have to pit again. Yeah, there's no point continuing this race. That's a shame. Let's have a look back at that. Or Mercedes it was. Yeah, there's a car width there. It just started washing out. Yeah, it's a good bit off the white line. And yeah, I definitely could have given a little bit more room. But yeah, I also thought I was just about to clear them. Because what also happens then is if you give them a really wide berth, you don't get past them. You know, and you still end up being alongside on the outside, and it just remains really awkward. That's let's have a look back at lap 1, shall we? I'll need to use this. Yeah, might as well look at a couple of things since we've finished early. Good start compared to the Peugeot. I went inside because you're never sure if the space is going to be there on the outside, then I decided to go cautious. Look at the Toyota screaming around the outside. That's what tucks the Aston into being tight to me, and then the Toyota pushes the Aston out, and I was just there, wrong place, wrong time. Let's see what actually happened here. Porsche involved as well. So from second on the grid for the Alpine, looking to go round the outside here of T1. Oh, this is where things get awkward. Yeah, that's on the Porsche. Porsche then ends up spinning as well. It's a little bit awkward here. The Porsche is going for this space on the outside, thinking, oh, the Alpine's going to be on the inside of the Genesis, but the Alpine backs off a little bit to fall into line, and so the space that the Porsche is going for isn't there anymore. Yeah, and ultimately, the Porsche went for a space that disappeared. Kind of a little bit unfortunate, but it's also like, I mean, you see they start to react to this point with the brakes, braking a bit, but then they still make the contact. You know, at this point they've stopped trying to avoid the contact. You know, and then they get tagged by the rear end. Yep, we're getting away with that murder. And that was that. Let's go back up to ourselves. Just had to sort of bide our time for the rest of that one. Good run out here, got to the inside here as a position. Good run out, turned in 3. So got the inside of the Toyota ran a little bit deep. Could have held that because I wasn't so aggressive. I sort of give them an opportunity, but they didn't take it. Then we're sitting waiting for the opportunity here. And here it comes, cut back on the inside, do what we did to the Aston last lap again. And then try and get the Aston here. Around the outside, we're slightly in front at this point. We squeeze the Aston to the outside curb, give them room. You know, but it was a bit of a squeeze, and that compromises their exit, and we're able to carry on. Right, one thing. Let's look at incidents. The one thing that would be nice for this is if there was sort of a bit of a severity bar. Yeah, let's jump to lap 9. Oh, that's too late. No, that's too late of a move. That's why these two came storming in, because someone went for a move that... Like, if you're not alongside by this point of the corner, you're too late to go around the outside. That's a bad move. So it was. That's a bad move. Oh. Just a small bit of murder. Yeah, just misjudged the closing speed. I gotta say, I'm not sure what the Peugeot's doing here. It's like, oh, they lock up, so they run in deep. They were giving the position back. Okay, fairness. Wasn't the best time to do it the first time there. You know, made things quite awkward with multi-class, but we got it done. What's this? This is the next one. Ooh, they're at it again. This one I think is a bit racing incident. Like, that's it. That's a squeeze from the Peugeot onto the curb, and so it just causes that little bit of contact. Zach, I don't think have went any tighter. Sorry, it's Taylor. This is getting Aston's confused. Yeah, Taylor is as tight as you can reasonably expect someone to be in this corner. You know, and it's not like they've got any throttle on to push the car out. Taylor was doing all they could there. Yeah, that one's more on the Peugeot. Slap back. Hopefully not. Hopefully they avoided suspension damage in that. Oh, awkward. Yeah, of course the GT3 is kind of compromised by the two ahead. That space wasn't there. That's just clumsy. And then this one. Oh no, I need to press that button. That's just some minor side-by-side stuff. Let's see. Ooh, there's this one. Okay, where's this McLaren going? I think if we go on board here. It's actually hard to say. Yeah, the under braking, the McLaren has just slightly drifted to the left. And, yeah, murdered the Peugeot. Or the Porsche, sorry. Here's this moment. Yeah, the Alpine pushes me into the Mercedes. I give the Mercedes second bunk, just like trying to process everything that's going on here. Let's see. Oh yeah, they did rear lock. And then put themselves on the inside. I think they didn't want to quite take the position from that. And then the Mercedes just decides, yeah, no, you're not going down the inside here. Fuck you. And funny enough, that's the same Mercedes that then tagged us on a little bit later. Oh, here's another moment with Mercedes. And just misjudged that one. Thankfully, very minor. They both go away with it. Ooh, these two. Oh no, this is what we were looking at. We've seen that one. Let's see what's happened here. That was a lot of leaning on the Ferrari. Yeah, like considering we're a good half a car's width from the white line here. classic brake checking the GT3. Whenever you're in this situation, you'll see I don't pull over to the racing line. This is exactly why the GT3s with their ABS, they can outbrake the hypercars in lower speed braking zones. So yeah, you did that to yourself there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's on these two. Yeah, you wouldn't have expected them to do that. That's a netcode moment right there. That is netcode. Whee! That's some iRacing netcode right there. Oh, wow. Yeah, some good netcode. What's this one? We'll watch this one then. I'll head off. Oh, again, just the legs has done the thing you don't expect them to do. Yeah, it's annoying when it happens. There's a lot of same class stuff I'm not going to look through. Otherwise, you could be here all day. Yeah, shame the race ended the way it did, but it is what it is. Yeah, thank you to those that came. I enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed that. Well, we didn't quite get halfway. I don't think. I don't even see it in the list. It's not even in the list of incidents here. So it's not, yeah, we didn't make it halfway, unfortunately. We were about 10 minutes short. Disappointing qualifying, but we had a good race. We were having a good race until then, which, yeah, is a big, big shame indeed. But yeah, thank you for those who came out. We do get a chance at redemption. Next week, we head to Coda. Even more difficult track. It will be interesting. Let's just go to live. It doesn't seem like rain has fallen. Like the Alpine's already up to second, 20 seconds behind the leader. What happened to Brennan here? Ooh, big snap. Just carried too much speed in, lost the rear end, went to correct it, and the car just took the car to the wall. Unfortunate. But yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you, everyone that lurked watching us back. Yeah, shame we couldn't finish, as I said, but it is what it is. We'll be back on Tuesday and Wednesday next week. Our Formula 4 series on Assetto Corsa continues, this time at Sachsenring, once again back to the sprint and feature races. So strategy should be quite interesting. So it should be. For the for as we're into the second half of the season, and we'll be into the second half of the WEC series as well when we head to Coda for round 5 in the Genesis. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some good races next week. But yeah, until then, have a good rest of your week, have a good weekend, and a good start to your next week. Hopefully I'll see you on Tuesday and Wednesday. But yeah, until then, take care. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye. I need to actually have the thing ready. There we go.